I thought it was an absolute coincidence for months. You locked her toy box tight, deep in the back of the closet. But when you woke up the next morning, her ball was lying there. Right in the middle of the living room rug, exactly where she always played. And you thought, I simply must have forgotten to put it away yesterday. But what if your memory is perfectly fine? And here is something that probably no one has ever told you. There is an invisible energy that can cause exactly this to happen. And the explanation for it will change your perspective forever. Think about it carefully for a moment. Today we are talking about 7 strange phenomena with your cat's toys. Phenomena that are not crazy coincidences, but conscious signs for you. Do you remember her little toy with the soft bell? You know perfectly well that you haven't touched it for weeks. But at night, when everything is absolutely quiet, you hear that familiar sound. A very fine, soft ringing from the dark corner of your hallway. Most people immediately blame this on a slight draft of air. But physically, this bell needs a specific movement to really ring. Researchers have often measured how static charges can affect small objects. It is not a ghost story. It is pure, preserved life energy finding its way to you. Because this presence knows that you painfully miss exactly this specific sound. You might have thought you were just imagining it all at night. But this is her way of softly telling you, I am still here. Let that sink in deeply for just a moment. Then there is that one toy you have been looking for forever. You turned the whole house upside down and found nothing at all. But suddenly it lies exactly in the place where you searched long ago. In her old, hidden little treasure spot right under your bed. That is absolutely no coincidence. Scientists often call something like this the emotional anchor principle in extremely strong bonds. You are led exactly to where the strongest shared feelings are stored. Your cat has charged this specific place with her deep sense of security. And now this place magically draws you in when you need comfort. Go there today and take the little toy gently in your hand. Feel the loving memory and let the warmth of this moment in. Now let's turn the whole thing in a completely different direction. What about the things that suddenly just fall off the table? A water glass seemingly slides right off the edge of your desk for no reason. You expect a loud crash. But instead of shattering into 1,000 pieces, it lands completely intact on the floor. As if an invisible, very gentle paw had slowed the fall at the very last moment. Here too, we immediately try to find a logical, physical explanation. We talk about air resistance or an extremely lucky, perfect angle of impact. But what if it was more than just crazy luck? Many veterinarians report incomprehensible situations after saying goodbye to a beloved pet. There is this protective energy that seemingly stays in the room for a while. It is her deepest, natural instinct as an eternal protector. The deep desire to gently continue watching over you and your surroundings. She simply didn't want you to get hurt on the sharp shards. That was entirely her doing. A silent proof that she is still watching by your side. And then something happens that is much harder to explain rationally. Imagine you are sitting completely alone on your couch in the evening. Suddenly your TV turns on by itself without any human touch. But not on just any channel you watched yesterday. But exactly on the channel that is currently showing a nature documentary about birds. Exactly the birds she used to watch intensely through the window for hours back then. Some scientists often speak of electromagnetic pulses that can disturb such electrical devices. That is of course absolutely true and happens very often in households. But why does this random pulse choose exactly her absolute favorite show? Energy seeks familiar patterns. Her presence uses these frequencies to create a familiar atmosphere for you. It's like an invisible invitation to remember those shared hours. She wants you to remember her bright, attentive eyes. Remember how she softly chattered when a little bird flew to the window. And now we come to the phenomenon that almost every owner knows well. Something that immediately sends strong goosebumps all over your body. You walk through your dark hallway and there is this very specific smell. The unmistakable, subtle scent of her familiar cat litter right in the air. And this is despite the fact that her old litter box hasn't been there for weeks. You take a very deep breath. Your brain signals to you very clearly that she is right nearby. Researchers often pragmatically call this an olfactory hallucination caused by deep, suppressed grief. A kind of emotional phantom pain that artificially recreates old sensory impressions in your head. But what if it is not an illusion of your sad, searching brain at all? What if her energetic signature briefly overlaps into your shared physical reality? Smells are the strongest carriers of deep, genuine memories and pure feelings. She uses this strong, archaic sense to send you a very clear message. I am not simply gone, I am just in a completely different, invisible room. And finally, there is this one, absolutely incomprehensible phenomenon with her things. You just completely forgot her old toy outside on the windy porch. The next morning it is completely gone, simply vanished into thin air without a trace. It has just disappeared completely. But a few days later, you suddenly see a small, unfamiliar stray cat playing with it. With the exact toy that your cat always loved so incredibly deeply. You might think this is just a hungry coincidence of wild, unpredictable nature. But what if your cat consciously invited this unknown soul to you? What if she passed on her greatest gift to help you today? She knew perfectly well that you would notice this little stray cat at some point. It is a loving request to you to open your big heart wide again. And that brings us to the hardest part of all these truly strange phenomena. To the moment you might have never really fully understood until today. You always believed she was just playing crazy with completely invisible things. You might have often been annoyed when the ball rolled loudly across the wooden floor at night. You understand it now. Or you cried silently because you never found the little ball again after that. Deep down, you wondered why she was causing you this pain. But the real truth is so much warmer than you are thinking right now. She is only using these small, everyday things as a loving, absolutely invisible bridge to you. Every missing toy, every subtle soft ringing is an invisible, very warm hug. Strong proof that this true, unconditional love can never really simply disappear. The next time you think of her tonight, do me a small favor. Take her toy, close your eyes, and tell her very softly, I have understood everything. Tell us down in the comments which of her beloved toys you still miss today.